Welcome back to the City Current Show. I'm your host, Jeremy Park. We're always honored to bring you inspiring stories of individuals and organizations making a difference and powering the good. And we love talking about events, collaboration, and impact. That's why we're honored to be joined by Jim Morris. He's the CEO of Impact Events. How are you doing?
I am living lavishly, Jeremy. How are you, my friend?
Doing well. And so you and I have a lot in common when you talk about bringing people together with a higher purpose. I love everything that you're doing, but let's start with a little bit of backstory. When you talk about Impact Events, what led you to launch?
Yes, amazing question. Thank you. So the launch really started with helping the community here in Nashville. At the time, I had opened my first business and just transitioned out of the corporate world. And this is 2020. So a lot of changes, a lot of things happening. And I really wanted to lean on other entrepreneurs in order to help each other and to collaborate, because I did have that vision that some of these big box companies were going to flourish, and the little guys and gals like us were going to see the biggest negative impact. So how I wanted to combat that was through collaboration and community and reinstate a positive impact.
When you look at, especially going into the pandemic, and like you saw early on, we need to do something to help the entrepreneurs, the small startups, the small businesses. When you look at those challenges and even where we are today, what do those challenges look like? What were some of the similarities and some of the challenges that you wanted to kind of tackle head on?
Well, I think in that time and even today, access is some of the things that we struggle with, because we are in my opinion, an age of information, right? So although we may have access to a lot of information, what is the right access and how do we obtain that to the correct information? So that's really what I wanted to do. I wanted to put leaders together. I wanted to put people who take action and talk about high-level ideas and see the importance of alignment and collaboration in the community. So allowing those people to come together really opened up access to other entrepreneurs. And we really just kind of built this amazing community where like-minded folks are continuously improving each other's lives. And that, to me, is my passion and really gives me energy and pushes me to continue to grow, in hopes that I can help and change others' lives with this community and keep pouring into it in order to have that impact.
And I think that's something we talk about often on our end, on the City Current side, is that opportunities in life come from people. And so people provide opportunities for people. And so when you talk about all of us being in the trust business, building trust, having access, it ultimately comes down to meeting people and having your sphere of influence and your network, people who can support you and open up those new opportunities. And so all of that, whether it's a large city, small town, you need access and you need those relationships. And so talk about how Impact Events works.
Yeah, so in 2020, we originally started the company by changing the landscape for networking events. So I wanted to bring people together. I wanted it to be a little bit different and unique. We don't give business cards out at the events because I experienced just that natural, here's a card, no follow-up, no true relationship building. So we did things like signature champagne toast, right? We get everybody together and kind of motivated and inspired people to have a prosperous rest of the year, the next quarter, the next coming months. Now, as I've transitioned, we have pushed this company into more educational opportunities. So we listened to our entrepreneurs and we dialed in. And as I've grown and my business has grown, I've built more relationships with higher level thinkers, people who have done it, not just talked about it, people who have really been the elite within their industry. And that's what I'm so excited about now, is because we've grown and networking is amazing, and connections and collaboration is what truly, is the energy to the world, in my opinion. But how do we go a level higher, and how do we educate and really have an impact in two different ways, right? From an education standpoint, and then also for bringing people together and the proximity and the power within the room.
And I like the fact too that, as you alluded to, even going back to the champagne toast, is you create an experience, a memorable experience. And I think oftentimes with networking events, they forget it's like, well, anybody can hold a networking event, but it's ultimately what's the higher purpose? And like you're talking about, how are you really creating valuable relationships, purpose-driven relationships, and how you're creating an experience? And so I think there's a lot that goes into, what you're talking about on that side that creates success, but ultimately the shift into education, which then leads us to a big conference. And so talk about the upcoming conference.
Yes. So we're throwing a sales, marketing, and mindset conference, October 27th. It's called the Impact Effect 23. So impact meaning to influence, effect meaning results. Our goal is to change the landscape of conferences and really bring so much value that those results are going to occur, right? We want to remove those roadblocks and opportunities for failure. So we're bringing 10 speakers to downtown Nashville. It's a full day conference. And here's the kicker. This is the difference. This is the uniqueness that I wanted to bring to this type of event, this element, is I've always gone to conferences. I've always really put myself in a position where I could align with those speakers and build those opportunities and relationships. And I've spent a lot of money doing that. And what I've learned over the years is you build that relationship and you learn, you take that knowledge, you bring it back to your business in your specific life cycle of business, your specific demographic, your specific avatar client, your niche, and you hit some roadblocks. And that's really where it ends with a lot of these relationships that you make at conferences with speakers and even some of the attendees. So I wanted to switch up the script. I wanted to be unique and do things different to have a true impact on the attendees. So what we're doing is we're not only giving you a one-day conference, we are giving you that conference and then also 4 additional events in the upcoming 6 months that are included with that one ticket. And what we're doing is we're bringing back 2 speakers per each event, and we're allowing you to have a true Q&A. And that's what I believe is going to break these barriers and, and really bring an impact to your business, because you're going to take that knowledge, you're going to move into taking action, and you're going to hit a roadblock. You're going to get stuck. And for you to now be able to ask that specific speaker something that's truly dialed in and detailed is really going to move that needle for you and your growth. And the best part about it is this isn't just going to be cutting edge business tactics and technology. We're talking about life growth. We're talking about connecting with people. And that's truly that definitive core theme, because that's truly going to help you sell. That's truly going to help you connect and provide opportunity to help people grow and prosper through your services. And I love the point that you made, because I've been speaking on this a lot lately, a concept called power of people. People are what lift you up from the darkest days. People are what celebrate your highest monumental moments. And we often forget sometimes, with so many distractions and technology and the world moving so fast, that people are what we need most. And it's not a product. It's not a service. It's those people in those times of need and those people in those times of celebration that truly bring that love and empathy. And that's really what I want to key into. Yeah.
And I tell you, when you look at the conference, you form that relationship obviously with the speaker. And I love the follow-up. And I agree with you 100%. You get inspired in the moment, you take it back, and then all of a sudden you are going to hit some roadblocks. To be able to carry that conversation forward is extremely important and allows people to grow and push forward. But you also create those relationships, those connections with the others there. And so you create this shared experience that you can lean on each other and grow your sphere of influence in your network too, just as a product of being in the room together, a shared experience. So there's a lot of value in terms of what you're talking about. Tease us a little bit with maybe 1 or 2 of the speakers.
Yeah. So Tim Story is going to be here. in Nashville. We love Tim. He brings such a great energy. That's really going to be that kickoff to the mindset piece. He's going to be talking about life and all the many miracles that we see and we often overlook, and really put us in a positive position. We've got Craig Siegel. He's going to be coming in from New York. He's going to be talking about personal branding and how he reinvented himself. We've got Tiffany Napper, who's local here in Nashville. She's going to be talking about brand and marketing and growth tactics. Jamie Miller is going to be talking about conscious communication and how words matter. And then we're also working with a couple keynotes. We're not going to just have one keynote. We're going to have a couple. We also are going to have a couple MCs playing off each other's personalities. We're going to have a little entertainment. You know, it is Nashville. It is Music City. So we're just really, really excited. You know, one of the things I focused on so much in the preparation and, you know, preparing to create this value is the curriculum. You know, a lot of people just throw these conferences together and they really don't have flow. They really don't have clarity. And there's just a jumble of high level performers that talk about what specifically helped them. And I really wanted to narrow down that curriculum so we could make an impact. And I feel like we've got some really amazing stuff that's going to come out on October 27th.
Yeah, I love it. Well, obviously you've got the local for Nashville, but obviously for Memphis, beyond, everyone is invited. So talk about the logistics, tickets. How does it work?
Yes. So you can grab a ticket from us at impacteffect23.com. If you put in your information, myself or someone on our team will reach out to you. We really want to make sure that you understand what's going to happen on the day of the conference and you see value in this. You know, we're not just selling tickets, right? And we're not just putting anybody in the room who will give us money. We really want to build that relationship from the first discovery conversation to ensure that you really are going to take these tools, you're going to come back to these events and really take action, you know? So that's really, I think, where there's a lot of power and uniqueness as well in our conference, because that's what's going to help with the community is the right people in the room. And because we're bringing you back for those 4 other events, you are building community and relationship. We've also got some private channels we're going to roll out to attendees, and we're going to do some exercises of accountability through that course of the 6 months. And we're really just super dialed in and focused. So very excited to bring people to downtown Nashville. We've got some hotel partners on the website as well, you know, things like that. So we're really trying to make it very easy for you. We've got some parking that we're working on and potentially some valet services with some local partners and homegrown entrepreneurs here in Tennessee. So really trying to ingrain the community and make this an easy flowing, very dialed in, amazing experience over the course of a 1-day conference and then 4 follow-up events and workshops.
So obviously the conference, the follow-up workshops, that's the focus. But beyond that, when you look out, you know, over the course of a year, how else can we help and be a part of impact events?
Yeah, so we throw monthly events as well as this annual conference. So just be on the lookout, follow us on social media. We'd love to just update everybody. We fly in speakers from all over, similar to what y'all do, right? And we're really excited about what's coming up. And as we're growing, you know, I'm an entrepreneur, we're building bigger and better prosperous relationships. And when I say prosperous, I mean for the entrepreneur that attends our events, right? Really people who are dedicated and aligned with what we're trying to do and that have experience helping entrepreneurs and a history of that. You know, like I kind of alluded to earlier, it's very important to me and to our organization and to my entire team to really bring the heat and turn it up a little bit when it comes to who's going to be speaking and who's going to be educating, because that's what we're really here for.
Yeah, and I think the world needs positive energy. It needs helpful content. It needs the connections. And I think that's where, you know, collaboration with groups like ours is so important, but there's so much opportunity for all of us to be able to help do our part in lifting the community. and those who we serve. And I feel like, your positive energy, the path that you're on, like I said, I love what you're doing and the intentionality behind it. Talk a little about just that positive focus, because I think that is something that obviously you can see through the screen, you can feel it in your voice, that heartfelt, service minded, I want to be able to make a difference. I want to make an impact. Talk about that positive energy and why that's so important for you.
So for me specifically, I valued money as the end all be all, and I made a transformation myself over the last couple of years. And that transformation really started with giving back and helping others. And once I started doing that, my energy level boosted and my frequency when connecting and talking to like-minded folks. So I just really challenged myself. And I think if everybody challenges themselves to really, really understand what you want and what you're working towards and have a clear path, then you're not going to be drifting through life. So for me, it was really, there's so many negative things that happen, and I've pulled myself out of the weeds in business, personal life, growing up, family trauma. I mean, you name it, right? We're all in this thing together. We're all going through the same stuff, just in different timing, different seasons. And once I really understood that and tried to just make a better positive impact, it just kind of compounded and kept rolling. And now as I try to push myself to be positive, I've found that, again, it's people that allow me to have that consistency, because it's my wife who says, Jim, you're being negative. Remember, radiate positivity. You talk about this. This is a concept you speak to hundreds and hundreds of people about. And I'm like, this is why I married you. I love you. Thank you. Right. And then I've got other friends that the same thing. They're like, Jim, you got to radiate positivity. And I'm like, this is amazing. And as long as we can build community to help each other rise. And, I just created, I didn't even know about this thing on Instagram, but a broadcast channel, right? And I just created it. And I'm like, every 2 days, I'm going to put in positive vibes, positive stories, things that have happened to me. And it's been amazing. I've had 15 people reach out in the last 24 hours and text me like, dude, this is awesome. I need it. And I'm like, what's even better? I need it too. So I'm helping you, I'm helping me, and we're all prospering and rising up. And it's all I'm doing is just, once I get into a positive phase, I can help you, and it also benefits me. Now, I don't do everything to benefit Jim Morris, because there's no heart in that, right? And I love people, but at the end of the day, I think it's just a constant battle to keep that energy and keep that positivity. And you can impact people's lives so easy. I was at a coffee shop today and was just having a conversation with the woman who took my order, and was just like, what? I woke up today. I'm feeling great. Like, how are you doing? Your smile actually just made me feel a little bit better. This week's been a little hard. And I just have this conversation, right? And she's like, I needed this conversation. Jim, I thank you. And she knew my name because I orders for Jim. She wasn't creeping or it wasn't weird or anything like that. It's a normal situation, right? But like, I just impacted that woman, and in return, she impacted me, because I'm going to think about that. Look, I'm telling you guys about it right now. Like, and I'm smiling ear to ear over it, So I think that exchange of just flipping the script, man, and being intentional, I struggle with it all the time. I'm not perfect. I mess it up, but you can't have a negative and a positive thought at the same time. So when that negative comes in, you've got to transition it to positive. And there's a million tricks and ways and cliche things to do. But for me, it's just identifying and being intentional. And if I can make that intentional change, then I think positive outcomes are going to happen. And the reality is we potentially can have 72,000 negative thoughts a day. So like, dude, I'm not going to beat them all. Jeremy, I'm not going to beat them all, but I got to try. And if I align with people and I have a community and I have go-to friends and individuals in business and personal life, then I think I'll be able to navigate it a little bit easier. And I hope that I can be in that circle for others and help them navigate it a little bit easier.
Yeah. I love that you you view yourself as a champion, you have the accountability partners, but at the same time, I love your approach, your perspective, and like I said, the positive energy that you are putting out for sure. So wrap up, you've mentioned it before, but mention again, where can we find out more information about the conference? Where can we find out and get involved with Impact Events?
Yes, so impacteffect23.com. You can follow me or DM me on Instagram, The Real Jim Morris. I respond to everybody. I love people. I love connections. If I can help you, I totally will. Right now, I'm just very focused on this conference. So we may have to delay and meet at the first of the year. But if there's something that aligns with my goal right now, then I would love to partner, collaborate, and see how I can help. My thing right now is helping 1,100,100 entrepreneurs before I die. And how I'm going to be able to do that is through collaboration and other people. So would love to chat, send me a message, and hope to see you at some of our events and hope to see you at the conference on October 27th.
Great stuff indeed. Well, once again, Jim Morris, CEO, Impact Events. Thank you for all you do. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you, Jeremy. It was a pleasure. Cheers.